The man accused of being the mastermind of the September 11th terrorist attacks has agreed to a guilty plea to avoid a possible death sentence. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who is being held at the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay, has been in custody since 2003. The U.S. accuses him of being the main planner of the 9/11 attacks, which killed nearly 3,000 people. Mohammed and two of his accomplices have agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy charges in exchange for life sentences. Terry Strada is chair of 9/11 Families United, a group of more than 3,000 family members, survivors, and first responders. Her husband, Tom, worked in the World Trade Center and was killed in the attack. Terry, thank you for joining us. How are members of your group reacting to news of this plea deal?
There's mixed emotions on this plea deal. There are older family members that believe that this will give them some type of relief, some type of closure. But the vast majority of the family members I've been speaking to are very angry, and we feel like justice was denied today in Cuba.
In what sense do you feel that justice was denied? He will have to admit guilt after 23 years. Is that not correct?
Yes, but he will not stand trial, and he will not face a punishment by death, which is what was on the table. So this is something that KSM and the others wanted. So it's a victory for them. And I don't feel like we should ever give them a victory. This is a sign of a very weak leadership in our country to strike such a deal that, like I just said, a vast majority of family members do not support, do not want, and we do not want him to have this victory.
Why was the prospect of a trial so important for you and other family members? Is it about that kind of direct facing of or hearing him in court, seeing him in court, or everyone going through the evidence? Is it something of that nature, a kind of airing of what actually happened?
Yes, it's all of that. It is a trial, and that the accused stands on a trial like he should, or all of them should. And that's what we have come to expect from this military tribunal, that we would have a trial at some point, and that they would have to face the charges, and that they would sit there and while the trial happens and the evidence is displayed and cross-examinations could happen, all of that. And that's just all been taken away from us now because they're going to plead guilty. They're going to get to stay in Guantanamo Bay. They're going to evade the death penalty. And I mean, the government sent us a letter, said we could ask them questions. I don't want to submit any questions to any of these men. They are jihadists. They are looking for media attention. They will send out some type of message to their brothers in their answers. And I don't believe we should give them, an ounce of attention and let them speak out at all.
We know that the government had evidentiary problems, that some statements, key evidence from these defendants were extracted by torture. In light of that, is a life sentence not actually a very good outcome when these statements could have endangered the entire case?
A life sentence in maximum prison would have been a better outcome than a max sentence at Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay is like a country club for them. They get to exercise, they get to go outside, they get to pick their diet, they get to read books. I think they can watch movies. They're living not in a very difficult circumstances. And so, I wanted to see them either to max prison or face the consequences of what you did. You murdered nearly 3,000 Americans on American soil, and you boasted about it. And you also said if you had the opportunity to do it again, that you would. These men do not deserve any mercy. So, the death penalty was the right punishment. And like I said, it's been taken away from us.
Terry, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you, it's taken 23 years for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 attack, to face justice. I know this is not the preferred outcome, but what has that delay meant for family members?
Oh, it's been so difficult for family members because we've lost so many family members. We've had a lot of family members pass away. So you've got widows now with husbands that have died and they've never seen any justice for their children. And you've got widowers have lost their wives and they've never saw any justice for their children. It's been a terrible very difficult, torturous type of situation to be in all these years, wanting justice for the murder of your loved ones. And a plea deal, at the last minute for political reasons. I mean, I don't understand what the Biden administration is doing, why they're doing this now. But it's not what the vast majority of us wanted. So It's just very disappointing.
Terry Strada, chair of 9/11 Families United. Her husband, Tom, was killed in the attacks. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.